Well, we are, gosh, Linda, this has been a while coming.
Yeah, you've been real slow about this. I
Yeah.
wished you'd hurry.
Linda asks me about every week, are we done with the book? Are we done with the book? And I'm like, we're almost there. We're almost there. It's really hard. Has anyone ever written a book? Put yes in the chat if you've ever written a book before.
Yes, yes. Or even just the thought of it makes you procrastinate.
If you have,
Yes.
there's this weird sense of it's just not good enough yet.
Yeah.
Like you to the people that are going to read it, you want there to be a level of perfection that it will never be. And it's really hard. And I've heard John Maxwell talk about writing books, and he'll say things like, you know, when I go back and look at some of my early books, I can't believe I even wrote that stuff. He's like, you know, I've grown so much as a leader. So anyways, there was a little bit of that for sure.
Well, we have a couple of Daves, Dave Norberg and Dave Ligas. They've both written books.
Yeah, that's good. All the Daves.
I haven't read all of their books, but I've read Dave Norberg's book, and it's really good. So good job, Dave.
That's awesome. Well, I just want to say to start, thank you all so much for coming and being a part of this experience with us. Linda and I have worked for a while to bring you guys something that we're really excited and we really think is going to make a big difference for all of you around Profit Share. So we're going to talk about the book, but before we do, we're going to actually open up with Linda reading her introduction in the book. So if you would just listen along as Linda kicks us off.
And watch Press as he cries. Yesterday, he cried.
I bawled like a baby.
So we decided he can't read it.
I said, I'm not crying, you're crying.
Okay, so if you're like many people, maybe you've heard whispers about Profit Share at Keller Williams, but never really paid attention. Maybe you've been too busy building your real estate business to give it a second thought, or maybe you've never even heard about it at all. Let me take you back to a pivotal moment in my journey in 1997. I was sitting in a mastermind with Gary Keller. You know, the kind of meeting where life-changing ideas are born. Gary asked everyone in the room to choose a business outside of their real estate business and create a pro forma. One by one, people picked industries like mortgage, title, insurance, property management. As fate would have it, I was seated in the very end of the table. So by the time it got to me, all the obvious choices were taken. That's when Gary Keller and Dave Jenks leaned over and whispered, Linda, haven't you wanted to learn more about that profit share thing? And at that point, anything sounded like a great idea. So I said, sure, and chose to build a pro forma on how to make $1 million in Keller Williams Profit Share program. What started as a simple exercise turned into one of the most transformative journeys of my life. I discovered that profit share wasn't an abstract concept. It was a tangible, life-changing vehicle that could create financial freedom and impact the lives of thousands of realtors. Over the years, I would go on to become the #1 profit share earner in Keller Williams. Press, my son, grew up watching profit share change not only our lives, but others, mine included. He saw how it not only created financial freedom for the person receiving it, but also impacted the lives of those introduced to Keller Williams. And because Press is a natural problem solver, he recognized something that many missed. Profit share needs a simple, step-by-step system that anyone can follow. The result? A proven roadmap that's already helping countless people tap into the incredible opportunities profit share provides. And now through this book, the same knowledge is available to everyone. I've read countless books that inspired me to take bold action and achieve goals I once thought impossible. I have no doubt that this book will do the same for you. Here's the truth. I know deep down, when you genuinely want to achieve something in life, there's always a way. This book is your way to build lasting wealth through Keller Williams Profit Share. So let me ask you, do you want your kids to look back someday and wonder why you didn't take advantage of this opportunity? Do you wish you could create more freedom for your family or better support aging parents or relatives? These are just a few examples of the life-changing impact Profit Share can have. There's a powerful story by Bruce Wilkinson called The Warehouse. In it, a person arrives in heaven and notices a massive white warehouse. When they finally ask about it, St. Peter reveals that the warehouse holds countless unopened boxes, each one containing blessings that were meant for people but never claimed. The truth is, most people spend their entire lives chasing financial security, never realizing that a vehicle for true wealth and freedom was right in front of them all along. But not you, not anymore. You now hold in your hands the roadmap to unlock one of the greatest opportunities Keller Williams has ever created. The only question that remains is, will you claim what's yours, or will you leave it sitting on that shelf like one of those unopened boxes in the warehouse? Imagine the future you could create, not just for yourself, but for your family, for generations to come. A life where money is no longer a daily concern. A life where you can say yes to more time, more impact, and more freedom. This book isn't just about learning how profit share works. It's about taking action. It's about stepping into the potential you've always had and using it to build a legacy. So don't wait. Don't let another year go by without seizing this opportunity, because one day your kids will look back just like Press did, and they'll either see the moment that you changed everything or the moment that you let it slip away. The choice is yours. So let's get to work. Let's build wealth while we're changing lives and leaving a legacy.
So good. Didn't Linda do awesome? Give her a hand.
Almost cried, almost.
I'm not crying. You're crying. So good. And I think the only best way to transition from that is to kick off our.
With the lady that always makes us cry.
That's right. So what we'd like to do now is we'd like to invite our guest speaker. I told you we were going to have some surprises. And what better way to kick off this book and the impact that it, ideally is going to have inside of KW than with an exclusive interview with the one and only Mo Anderson. So can we all in the chat give Mo a big hand?
All of our love. Give her our love.
I love it. Mo, thank you so much for being on with us.
Well, I am so honored that you asked me, and I am so proud of you because you have written this book and you're launching it, and thousands of agents will absolutely benefit from it so much. This could really be a tipping point in our company. And I'm really proud of you. What a legacy you're leaving. You little rich things, you. Oh,
I love it, Mo. Well,
I'm
Linda, why
so
don't you go
proud
ahead
of
and
you.
kick us
How
off?
many millions have you made in profit share cumulative?
Over 16 million. Press usually, I used to never know the number, but Press would keep up with it.
It might be close to 17, but I haven't updated it in a while. So I know it's for sure over 16.
Yeah,
Well,
over
we're
16.
all really, really proud of you.
So sweet.
Well, thank you. Well, I'm really blessed that, that somehow the message got through to me. It didn't right away, no matter how many people talk to me about it or whatever, Mo. So this is one of our opportunities to give another way that someone might wake up to the gift that we've been given. So,
right.
So thank you, Mo. We appreciate you. And we know that you've been a big proponent of profit share. So now, as you know, Mo, profit share has paid out over $2 billion since its inception, right? Will you tell us about the history of profit share and how it shaped Keller Williams, in your opinion?
Early on, when Gary first decided to profit share, he used the concept of revenue sharing. He didn't use that very long because he saw it wasn't the ideal model. Now think about it a minute. If you decided to revenue share with your team or in some other situation, what happens when you share the revenue, but you don't have enough money left over to pay the bills? So that's not really a good idea. There may be ways you can make it work, but I have never seen it work in my almost 88 years of living. So when I saw Gary's program, it was based on profit share. And I was really thrilled it was, because I had been a part of a couple of multi-level companies and learned a little bit about how it worked, and was quite excited when I saw it. Of course, what drew me to Keller Williams was actually the Y4C2Ts and Gary's mind. But let me tell you, profit share ranked really, really, really high. It was so interesting. After I came along and was CEO in those early years, we came up with some cockeyed idea about we were going to absolutely motivate everybody to get excited about profit share. And we were so thrilled, and we just knew it would work. And we did the most stupid thing you could ever do. We took 10% at the top. I've kind of forgotten how the formula worked because it was a long time ago. And then when we recruited an agent, they would get 10% on a deal they did. And we just knew that was going to make them fall in love with profit share. It no more worked than me being a ballerina on a stage. And so we knew that we had to reverse it and go back to the regular formula. And so we ended up having the best ALC meeting I have ever seen in the history of this company. And everybody came to the meeting because we were going to vote to get rid of this cockeyed formula that we had come up with that didn't work. And a bunch of them wanted to keep it, and a bunch of us didn't want to keep it. And I mean, people came with signs, they came with speeches ready to give. And for a few minutes, I thought I was at a political convention. You know how they have all the signs?
Yeah.
And we took the vote, and it won. I don't remember what the vote was, but we voted to rescind it and go back to a formula that did work, which was Gary's original formula. And at the end of the meeting, I challenged everybody to put their signs under their chairs, to walk out of the room united. And they did. It was one of the most beautiful things I've ever witnessed. And so we changed it and made it like Gary and his ALC had originally planned for profit share to work. And then the McKissicks come along, and little old sweet Linda wasn't even interested in profit share. She was just interested in absolutely doing another deal. And then she shared the experience that made her do a pro forma. And now there are 16 million to the better for having taken profit share seriously.
Yes.
So it was really a turning point. I think we're also at a turning point right now, because COVID and the crazy market we've been in has really caused ownership profit, or market center profit, I should say, to go downward. Now, we still have some market centers that have decent, maybe even good profit, but we don't have the kind of profit that we had during different periods in the past. So I tell everybody when I speak to agents, don't quit the business right now, because if the president gets his trade deals done, the market's going to begin to open up again. All the people with the 2% loans or 3% loans, they're wanting to move, but they don't want to lose that loan. Well,
Yeah.
they're kind of forgetting now that maybe 6% is not bad or 5% isn't bad, whatever the rates are.
Yeah.
Good grief, when you've lived through 21% like I have and Gary has, 6% looks gorgeous.
Well, and Mo, also, after I did that pro forma, the market actually went down. And what goes up comes down, and what comes down goes back up. So
That's
I think
right.
the same thing. You got to not give up on your real estate business, and you got to not give up on profit share, because the progress you make now will pay off big time later on. But my profit share pro forma didn't perform exactly like I had planned it out, because the market changed in 2008, 2009. But then when it went up like crazy.
Well, and
That's right. And that's why I say today, all we have to do in this company is to get our mindset right. Because right now, lots of people say, oh, I'm worried to death. That is nuts to waste 1 second on being worried to death. Because I know with 80 people responding on the trade deals, we're going to get some of those done. And when they get done, it will stabilize the economy worldwide. And then if everybody in Keller Williams will absolutely work their little selves to death to get 15 or more, but a minimum of 15 in level 1 of their downline, then when our market center profits shoot up, because now we're excited and we have a looser market, we have more listings. You know how it does. It just, when it's down, then it goes up.
Yeah.
I've seen that happen. I've been in the business 50 years and I've seen it happen over and over and over and over. And I know when you should never get out, you should never be discouraged. And folks, it's right now.
Yeah,
So true.
absolutely.
Mo, I want to know, people talk all the time about the unique culture that we have at KW.
Uh-huh.
And I think obviously you're a big part of that. There's the people side of it, but there's also the profit share model itself, in my opinion. It fuels the unique culture of sharing that we have. Will you kind of just talk about, in your perspective, how profit share and our culture sort of tie together?
Absolutely. Number one, when any agent in the market center has a transaction and contributes their money, it makes the profit share pool larger. So it benefits everybody in the market center, the owner and all of the other agents. Now, what creates real synergy in the market center is for the agent to understand the graciousness of the owner for agreeing to let 48% of the market center's money profit to be profit shared. Who does that?
That's
We
right.
do. And you made 16 million cumulative for your owners in all these different market centers where you've brought people. Talk about synergy. And you see, I profit shared before I ever heard of Keller Williams on 2 levels, but it was before the days of computer, and we had to do all that stuff by hand, and I never went further. When I met Gary and he showed me that you all were doing it on 7 levels, I did a happy dance. I was so excited. But computers had just started back then. So it creates the synergy and it helps everybody who participates in market share to make more. And that's why I can tell when I go into a market center and somebody does a deal that contributes, they're not on 100% yet. And the whole market center screams and yells, "Yay, we are so proud of you." I
Mhm.
know that Market Center understands profit share. It's when I go into market centers and I see people contribute a whole bunch to Market Center because they're kind of new and they're getting their first deals, or maybe they're an agent that doesn't want to do a whole lot. They
Mhm.
just want to do 15 deals a year or something, and they contribute profit share. Nobody gets excited at the team meeting. Nobody claps. Nobody shows enthusiasm. And I think they're as ignorant as they can be. They don't understand that it creates love between the owner and the agents because the owner is willing to share, and that every time an agent contributes, it makes your own profit share more. Now, if you're not in the profit share system and you don't know anything about it, you don't know what to get excited about. But when you understand it, you get really excited.
Well, that's okay, Mo.
We're not big
Linda and I wrote this book to help them understand it. So
Yeah.
that's the good news. They
So-
got a good way to.
So Mo, can you share a personal story or a time that you've seen profit share and how it impacted somebody's life?
Oh my word, there are thousands of stories, but I guess the two I want to share. I love Mark King's story because Mark
Mhm.
King made, I think it was around $500 a month in profit share for when he
Yeah.
first started profit sharing, and
Yep.
his grandmother needed an dialysis.
Yeah.
And Mark King paid for her dialysis with his market share, and she lived an additional, I believe it was 3 years. Now,
Yeah.
that's pretty profound when an agent can keep their grandmother living longer. The other story that just thrills my heart because it happened in Oklahoma,
I love.
in my region, and we had a gentleman who did really well in profit share. He made, you know, quite a bit of money in profit share. I don't really remember how much. It wasn't anything like Linda and Press and Jim, but he did well, and he had no relatives. He was older. He passed away, and across the street from him had lived this young family who were really struggling that had a number of kids. And he willed his profit sharing, his will to that little sweet family because he had no cousins left. He had no siblings ever. And that family still benefits a little bit today. And that happened what? You all remember when it happened 25 years ago.
Yeah, Mo, this is one of my favorite stories. There used to be a video, and I would cry every time I saw the video because when you saw this little family that lived in a mobile home park that had all these children and what his profit share, they like, I don't understand what it is, but we are so thankful and grateful. It was one of the most moving stories that I've even to this date heard. Profit
It
share.
still should be in Connect, and someday somebody's going to find it because it's one of the most powerful stories
It
of
is.
all.
It
So
is.
cool.
It is.
Awesome.
Love it.
Mo, last question we have for you. What would you tell? You talked about our company being at a pivotal point, and we 100% agree. It's really a big part of why we're releasing the book now. What would you tell the next generation of individuals at KW who want to build their wealth here?
Profit share was invented so that an agent could invite people into the company and be rewarded for it, and that money would bless their families. And when agents don't take it seriously, they're depriving a blessing to their families. They're cheating their families. And, this is when the Velvet Hammer comes out. Do you want to be known by your peers who are profit sharing to be a family cheater? No, you don't.
That's
Get off
Velvet
your duff, buy the book, learn about it, insist your team leader has a class on it at least once a week. so that you can bring the people that you love, that you've done co-op deals with, and just say, I know you're not interested in moving. I'm not trying to recruit you, but I want you to come and learn how it works.
Yeah,
That's so
Yeah.
good.
love it, Mo.
Oh, I
Love
That's
it.
my advice. And
Thanks.
don't take much time to get off your duff, because we are at a tipping point. Things exciting are going to happen in
Yeah.
the real estate business. You're going to start doing deals when the worldwide economy kind of settles into whatever they're going to do in these trade deals. And I'm telling you, you're going to be so glad you did. You'll do a happy dance down the street. I
Yes.
just love you all so much, everybody on this call. But I get real frustrated because so many people in our company don't take it seriously. And we've got to tell the profit sharing stories often enough to get them interested. That's what gets them interested, not the money we tried to give them. It didn't work.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so true,
so
Mo.
good.
So true. So well said.
Can everyone, would you mind going in the chat and showing Mo some love? Let's show Mo some love. Mo, thank you so
Mo,
much.
there's already so much love already in there for Mo.
There
Let's
is.
give her all we got. Love you, Mo.
Mo, you should go look at the chat because you're getting a lot of love in there and you already have. But
I
thank you.
could use some love.
All right,
We're-
sending love your way, Mo.
Okay, thank you so
Thank
much.
you
And
so
for
much.
Love you.
everybody who loved me in the chat, thank you.
Yes. That's awesome.
Awesome. So good.
love it.
What,
I love
first off, what a gift for us to have Mo open the book launch party and
Yes.
talk about someone who, Mo had to believe in profit share before there ever was. We're in a different world today where, yes, market share and profits are down, but like Mo said, that everything's in a
That's temporary.
cycle.
Yep.
It's a temporary. Back then, there was really no profits in general, and so you guys were sold an idea that there was no proof of.
Yeah, so true. It's, I mean, literally when I set my original goal to make $1 million in profit share, there hadn't been $1 million in profit share ever yet.
Yep.
So, and I think that is the struggle. Sometimes you have to believe in it before you actually achieve it, because, and especially back then, because there just wasn't a whole lot of profits yet.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Okay, well, we're going to do a transition and we're going to talk a little bit about the profit share book. So if you will stay tuned with us for a second, we're going to pull up a couple slides and let's talk about what you need to know in regards to our new Profit Share Advantage book. All right, with that being said, let's kind of jump in. So give me 2 seconds for my awesome tech guy, Josh, to get us set up.
Yeah.
And there we go. We're ready. Perfect. All right, good deal. So as we get started, Linda and I do have an ask.
Yes.
And here's our ask, and I hope you'll understand. Whatever you were doing before this call, whatever you're doing after, that's up to you. But while you're with us today, our ask is, will you play all in and engage with us during the Zoom? So if you will you please go in the chat and just say yes. Say yes, I'm going to lock in. I'm going to engage. I'm willing to play all in while you guys go through this. Now, as y'all are doing that, I want to make sure we all have the same definition because, Linda, sometimes we have different definitions for things.
Yeah.
When I say all in, if you'll look at the screen, this is what I'm talking about, okay? This family,
This house is all in.
they went all in, all right? That is 100% all in. You know who did not go all in? Their neighbors. You can't do that. You can't say ditto and point to the house. That doesn't work. That's not all in. If that analogy doesn't work for you, here's a different one for you. These people
Look like they're all in.
They do. They showed up to a Taylor Swift concert, and most of us would probably at first glance say they're all in, but I would argue they are not. These girls showed up
all in.
All in. All right.
Well, and I can tell by the love that they gave Mo, I think we got a group that's all in.
That's
I really
true.
do.
That's true. Now, here is the absolute litmus test for all in. This is an amazing individual inside of KW.
Press snuck this one in.
His name is Josh, and he showed up to Family Reunion 2 years ago with a Linda McKissick is my spirit animal.
And I think what he really meant is I want the kind of profit share that she has.
That's right. And I will tell you, Mo, you've made it when your face is on a t-shirt. Like you've reached the mountaintop, okay? So Josh, you win for sure on being all in if you're with us today. So that's what we mean when we say all in. But on a serious note, let's kind of talk about the book. So, Linda, let's start off with why in the world we even wrote this book. I can tell you, why we didn't write the book might be the
Let's
easier.
start there.
Yeah, the easier place to start, and it wasn't for this reason. We did not write this book to line our pockets with a whole bunch of money from selling a book. Mo, you've written a book. Some of you on here have said that you've written a book. I can pretty much tell you that writing a book does not equal bucket loads of
Stacks of money.
stacks of money. I will say there is an exception to that rule, and that is unless you are John Maxwell. If you are John Maxwell, then you can make a lot of money writing a book, okay? And he's done that very well over his career. So that's not why we wrote the book. So if that's not why we wrote the book, then Linda, let's talk about why we did.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you in a number, not a word, and
Yeah.
it's 50,076.
So should we see if they know what that number means?
Put in the chat what you think that number is.
What do you think 50,076 actually represents? What do you think that number? what
We've
is
got
its
it. We've
relevance?
got it below us here, so we're looking.
Okay,
People in your profit share tree. Oh, that's a good guess.
I
Mary.
wish.
I wish. If we had 50,000,
Yeah,
Linda would own 4 planes if we had that. That'd be great. Good guess. Number of agents in your downline. Okay, so a lot of really good guesses.
yeah.
Here's what that number is. It is the amount of people who joined Keller Williams in 2024.
Wow.
We had 50,000 people join our company in 2024. And do you know what? Want to know what's interesting about that number? Every one of those people have a common denominator.
What do you think all those people have in common? What's the one common denominator from those 50,076?
Yeah, Mary, you got it again. You're quick on the trigger, Mary. Good
Very
job.
good.
It is they all have to name a sponsor. So the question we have for you is, how do you figure out how to get your unfair share of the 50,000 people who are joining our company every single year? The opportunity is huge,
Yeah,
but what's
it's not a lack of opportunity because 50,000 people pick somebody.
But here's what's crazy, Linda, and you and I cannot believe this stat every time we look at it. Less than 35% of those inside of KW are participating in profit share in any way. I'm like, oh my gosh, we have 50,000
I was one of those
people.
the first 4 years of being in the company, so I kind of have empathy for them.
Yeah, absolutely. So Linda, let's talk a little bit about the reality.
So here's the reality. And for those of you that have been in real estate for a long time, you kind of probably had an awakening at some point, and you know that 50 or 100 more houses is not going to get any of us to financial freedom. I remember the day that I woke up and realized that the last day I was going to sell my last house would be the last dollar I'd ever make. And that was a rude awakening. So the reality is this is the greatest industry in the world. I love this industry, but it does have one big problem. And the problem is this: real estate is a great business, but it's a pitch business. And what that means is we got to get up every day and go pitch somebody else, a buyer or seller or somebody, on doing business with us, or the money doesn't come in. It just stops.
Yeah.
And what it doesn't have and what it lacks, which is your favorite acronym.
My
Letters.
3-letter favorite acronym in business is MRR.
Yeah, so we're gonna do another little test here. What do you think MRR stands for? Put in the chat what you think MRR stands
Look
for.
at the amazing Judy Johns on here, by the way.
I love you.
Hey,
Judy.
Judy. You're-
Yeah, monthly
Talk about a
recurring
profit
revenue.
share pioneer right there.
Yeah, monthly recurring revenue.
That's
That's
exactly
exactly
right.
what it means.
Gosh, I love that word. Does anyone get any monthly recurring revenue, either from a rental property or profit share or anything? Oh my gosh, it is the best feeling. Linda, what does it feel like?
Well,
Feels like that, doesn't it?
yeah, it feels like you can wake up every day and money is coming in, and I could get up that day, or I could stay in bed. Now, because I love what I do go ahead and get up.
Yeah.
But I know I could stay in bed.
Absolutely.
So the path to freedom is honestly through creating multiple streams of income with reoccurring revenue. And again, there's only so many ways to do that. And
Yeah.
we're blessed because we have one that most people don't actually have.
Yeah, absolutely.
And by the way, when Press put this slide in there, I'm like, Press, they're going to think this is me 20 years from now. But that's not me. He didn't try to replicate me later. What this is this is what Press witnessed when he got out of Baylor after he did a stint in Austin with Gary in the market centers. He sat next to me, and what he began to hear was people who had been in the business 30 or 40 years call me on the phone, because someone had told them I was the person to call
Yep.
if they were really concerned and worried about how do I exit this business and still have enough money to do the lifestyle that I want. And what we got over and over again, Press, and this is so true, was my husband is already ready for me to go to Florida 5 years ago. He's about ready to leave me. I got beautiful grandkids that I want to spend time with. I can't do it.
Yep.
I cannot do it because I don't have any monthly recurring revenue.
Yeah, that's right. And you know, so many people, when you get into real estate, you have all the fire in your belly to do this. But as Linda will teaches, right? For her, it was at about the 12th year mark.
12th year, 200 transactions year after year.
You hit the burnout
Something
mark.
changed. Something changed.
Yeah. So at some point, you're going to hit that point where like, I love this, but I don't maybe want to do this forever. Like
Right.
I want options. I want freedom. And I got to witness as Linda got those phone calls. She still gets those phone calls on a regular basis from people, not just in KW, but in the industry who are looking for freedom and options.
Yeah,
Right.
and they just, they haven't thought about it until, quite honestly, that moment. And I always love to say this, if you're in Keller Williams, please don't walk over dollars to get to dimes. And those commission checks are the dollars, and they come so quickly and they're so big that we walk over the beautiful dimes of profit share that really have the compounding effect and
The
have
dollars.
Yeah, we walk over those dollars to get to
dimes.
the dimes. And the truth is, profit share is the dollars that in the long run, you'll be the most proud that you created, not the dimes that came in from your commissions.
Yeah, that's right. So what Linda and I have done, for those of you who know us, you maybe have been on this journey with us. And for those of you maybe listening for the first time, you don't, we've spent the last decade really perfecting a process to help people build wealth through profit share. And we call that the profit share advantage, which happens to be the title of the book, right? It is a unique process that anyone can follow and learn. So in order to kind of explain a little bit more about the profit share advantage, let me take you back and tell you a story about my lifelong friend, Nick. And in case you're wondering, I'm the better looking one on the left. He's the other one on the right. All right. I hope he's on this call to hear that. Nick and I grew up together. He's honestly more of my brother than he is my friend. And he's a year older than me. So as we were growing up together, we got to watch Linda and Jim's life go from $600,000 in debt to financial freedom because of the gifts from Keller Williams and the gifts of profit share. And so as we got to see that, while all the other kids wanted to be astronauts and doctors, not Nick and I, we wanted to be business people. More specifically, we wanted to be in real estate. And Nick's a year older than me, so he graduates ahead of me. And he goes and starts working, and he calls me, Linda, about 8 months into being a full-time real estate agent. And he said, I can't believe I'm even calling you and saying this, Press, but I don't love selling houses. He's like, I love real estate investing. I love Keller Williams, but I don't think I'm a match for real estate sales forever. And he said, my favorite question Nick's ever asked me, do you think I could turn profit share into a business like Linda has? And seeing that Nick's in my downline, I thought that was the best idea he'd ever come up with. So we went to work to figure out if that was even possible. Who today was building their downline at scale?
Well, and the key point of that, Press, too, was, so many people look and say, well, I don't have the influence in real estate that you did. So you
right.
had to create a different way that someone who hadn't been speaking at real estate conferences and
hadn't built a big business
could do this. This is what I love about this.
So we went out and we found an individual at the time who was the #1 sponsoring agent and had been for the previous pretty much decade. And he was gracious enough to share everything with us to understand a unique way, what we would call the original version of the profit share advantage. And our minds were blown to the idea of how today, from the comfort of your home, you could build your profit share without it having to take up a tremendous amount of time, right? Without it causing you to have to cold call people, where actually people reached out to you instead of you reaching out to them. And at the end of the call, he said something that sticks with me to this day. My only ask is that you guys will go and do it. And so Nick and I committed that taking what we had learned, plus taking our own version of it, our own ideas, reformed that idea into what is now something unique uniquely that we've designed. And so it took me the original form of what that looked like about 3 months to build, put all the pieces together, put all the tech together. And to be honest with you, it was incredibly painful. I would not recommend anyone ever go through that pain. However, at the end of 3 months, by about August of that year, it was built. It was built. And I'm not going to lie, I kind of crossed my fingers, hope that it was going to work. But now what I want to show you is Nick's results of starting to grow his downline with purpose using the Profit Share Advantage over the next 4 years. So his first year, he added 79 people to his downline. Hey, that's not bad for your first year of getting.
I only have 32 in my.
That's not
hold
bad,
down.
right?
That's 30 something years with this company.
That's right. Second year, he got 99.
Yep.
And I give him a hard time because how in the world can you get 99 people in your downline in a year and not do one more to get to 100? But that's okay. He did okay. His next year though, he did better, 128. And that fourth year, he added 163 people in 1 year. You realize that's more than a lot of market centers add in an entire year, all from following this unique process we teach called the Profit Share Advantage. Now, maybe more exciting than the sponsorship or his downline growing, let's look at his profit share. His first year, he had already made a little bit from 1 or 2 people, but not a lot. So his first year of really getting focused, you can see his profit share went to about $8,800. Now, I think we'd all agree $88 not changing anyone's life, on today's call, but remember, this is all passive money. So not bad for your first year of just getting started with this. His second year though, look what happens. It goes from 8,800 to almost 15,000, right? So it almost what?
Doubles.
It almost doubles. His third year, it over doubles to 32,000. And his fourth year, it went to 50,000. And he broke in 4 years, he went from almost no profit share to over 100,000 in lifetime profit share. And so this is what Mo was talking about. Nick came in 2017 and rode the top of the wave of that decade to like whatever it was, 21, 22, before the market shifted, right? And so the part of what we teach in the Profit Share Advantage book is how to get on board because you're about to have the opportunity to ride the next wave.
Yeah.
All right. And you don't want to miss it. What I love though is in 4 years, Nick added over 500 people to his downline. And that's not just, I'm not just talking 500 people. I'm talking about changing people's lives by introducing them to this company and what it does to help people build a true career here.
Yeah.
Now, what happened next is I started getting asked to go speak about what I had helped Nick build with the Profit Share Advantage. And it was great until it wasn't great. And what I mean by that is I had built something for Nick to use, but I'm not techie enough to know how to build it so anyone in the company can benefit from this idea.
Well, and Press, we began teaching it and we found that it was a lot harder for people to actually do it.
That's right. To build it for sure on their own. And so I was frustrated because I'd teach them exactly what they needed to go build, but I don't know why they didn't have 3 months to spare to go build something, right? It makes total sense why they didn't do it, but I was frustrated because I wasn't techie enough to do it. And that's when Superman, AKA my regional tech trainer, Josh Boatman, came into the picture, and his office is right next to mine. And I don't know if you've ever had someone in your life where 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2, it equals 5. Josh has been that way for me with the Profit Share Advantage. And so Josh came into my office one day because our walls are super thin. And he said,
insulation.
He said, hey, I know you're frustrated because you're teaching people how to do this and no one's doing it. I've taken a look and I think I can build it in a way that anyone in KW can use it. Would that be of value? And I'm like, it's one of those defining moments in your life where you don't realize the impact it's going to make. And I said yes. And so what I did next is, this is a real picture of Josh. I locked him in his office and put him to work on his computer for 6 months. And I didn't let him leave. But don't worry, I fed him food under the door. He was, well taken care of. But after that time frame, he came out and was able to deliver something that anyone in the company could then benefit from. And so, Linda, let's talk a little bit about some of the amazing success stories that we've seen of people who've tapped into the ideas we teach in the book.
Yeah, I love it. You're always going to have your superstars. You're going to have your people.
Some of these superstars are on the call today.
Yes, and we love them all, right? Jules Presta was one of the I
She
really,
was #1 sponsoring
Yeah.
agent a
yeah,
few years
I
ago.
think she might have knocked Nick off too.
She did. She beat Nick that year and I loved it. It was awesome.
And she added 146 agents into her into KW in 1 year. I mean, if we all imagine the power and the impact, if we had everyone in the company doing this, our company's growth problem
Yeah,
would
we
not be
wouldn't
a
have
growth problem.
50,000, we'd have 250,000. a
Oh,
year.
yeah, exactly. And then there's Chad and Carrie, Carico. They added 62 people in their downline in their first 12 months. I mean, this is like, you know what I love, Press, because we've talked to every one of these people. What I love to hear is when they get value and they feel significant when they're helping another person get into
Okay.
this great industry. That's an unexpected value that you don't even think about, but
Yes.
I hear it in their voices. And then we got Ariel that added 7 agents to his downline in the first month.
It's first month.
And you know, I've had people on our podcast, because we do a podcast once a month about profit share, highlighting these stories. I've gotten teary-eyed before listening to people who said, I wanted to grow the company, but it wasn't really working. And now I've added this many people, and to hear the joy in their voices that they've actually been able to bring people to a company that they love is pretty amazing.
Well, and Linda, tell them one of our favorite stories about Heather.
Oh, gosh, yes. Because one of the things we kept running into, Press, is people would say, well, I'm an admin, or I'm what is our?
An NCA.
NCA, thank you. I couldn't find it. Or a ROM. And they were like, well, how can I do this? I'm in an administrative position
And
and
real
I'm
quick,
not out there every
to
day.
clarify what Linda's talking about, before a certain time period, you realize that to have the biggest advantage to grow your profit share, you needed to be a top producer who had
Yeah.
relationships, and right, and you were in the market to be able to influence people over. What we're seeing is now a shift where it's not about your credentials, it's about your willingness to follow a model.
Well, and what I love that the Roscoe's did with Heather is, you know, as top agents, one of the hardest thing we have is a way to build a exit strategy for our people. And they were allowing Heather
As
to
she was the director of ops. like you're
director of
saying.
ops and amazing person, amazing contributor to their team. They were allowing her to have, I don't know, maybe it's an hour a week or whatever. And
Yeah.
she was actually responding and getting people in her.
And then in
downline.
her own time, she was spending a little bit of time on a Saturday and.
Yeah. And
to do it.
Heather's not one of those that would approach someone. She's more introverted. So this was a way that people were calling her and she could actually
What's
answer.
amazing about Heather's story is in her first 90 days, she added 16 people into her downline.
Yeah.
I don't know another way for people to be able to do that without leveraging a proven process, a model,
Yeah.
really giving you an advantage with profit share.
Yeah.
So most of you are like, okay, this, first off, amazing results. What the heck is the profit share advantage, right? Like we haven't actually talked about what it is. Well, here's the thing. You got to read the book to find out,
Yeah.
right, Mo? Like they got to go read the book first in order to find out what the advantage is. However, Linda and I do want to give you what you're going to get inside the book and how it's going to help you. So
Well, and reasons
let's talk about that.
that is, what are the benefits for people who get the book? Well, number one, it will help you understand the history and details around the profit share program, because I think a lot of times people don't really understand.
And that's the whole first chapter. The whole first chapter walks through the history of profit share and really giving our people the ability to understand how it works and why it was designed that way, and points you to resources for you to be able to get more information if you want it.
Yep.
Secondly, it also gives you a roadmap, right, Linda?
Yep, to sponsor anywhere from 15 to 150 people per year.
Yep. Our model has proven to do that, and it's going to walk you through. So this book is more about, Linda said it in her intro, it's about action. It's going to give you the step-by-steps of what to do. It's not just theoretical in nature.
Yep. And then a book that you should share with your downline to inspire your next.
Yeah,
I say to Press all the time, why don't we have more Nicks, Press? What are you doing? Right?
that's right.
Because you never know. And like Mo said, I didn't get it right away either. So you never know when the people in your downline are actually going to get it. It's going to click for them on what they can use profit share for them and their family.
Yeah, that's right. I love it. Lance said, can you provide the link for the book? Take my money. Lance, I love you, and I'm going to share.
We're going to tell you how to
I'm
do
going to tell
that
you in just a minute, and I think
from our publisher,
you're
Amazon.
gonna like it. So again, I want to make sure that point's clear. So like Judy, I'm gonna call you out on the call. Judy Johns, who's on this call right now, is another pioneer with profit share. What her family has done around profit share, I can't even tell you how many people are probably in her downline. Judy who has a downline could take the book and use it as a way to give it to certain people in her downline to try and inspire those who are in her downline to be like Nick is for my downline and for Linda's downline, because I'm in Linda's downline. And so the more you can
That's 'cause I
inspire,
birthed you.
that's right. That's right. Yeah, she got the birthright is to go on the downline for sure. And so, you know, that is another way for you to inspire those who are already in your downline, if you already have one, to get them excited about their opportunities in the company.
Yeah, because you'd hate for someone to be in your downline and never really take advantage of this great
Yeah.
gift, right?
That's right.
And then it's going to be for offices to have an easy handout for new and existing agents to learn how to grow their profit share. Because I think as leaders, we need new ways to get people excited about profit share. And we feel like we've just been talking about it till we're blue in the face.
That's right. So with that being said, let's actually share with you the pricing of the book and how it works. So here's what we did. The first thing is when we start talking about the price of a book, people were like, hey, you know, the new price for books is around $30. So Linda and I talked about that, but here's kind of what we decided. Are you guys okay if we don't do $30 a book?
Yeah,
I don't like that.
I'm
Seems
out.
kind of high, to be honest with you. So we decided not $30 a book. And so we started looking at $20 a book. Is that $20 better than 30? Y'all good with that?
Always, always.
Okay. But here's the thing though, Linda and I were talking about it and we actually didn't like $20 a book. So we were like, well, what if we made it $10 a book?
Yeah, 10's reasonable.
10 is a whole lot better than 30. It's definitely better than 20. However, the other thing though is Linda and I were talking about it and we don't actually want to make any money from the book. And so what we've decided,
We want it to be a movement.
that's
So if we
true.
want it to be a movement, we got to get it in more people's hands. So
That's
how do
true.
we do that?
So here's what we decided to do. We decided to make the book. We are publishing with Amazon and you can get the book for $3.99 if you have an Amazon Prime account. And
If you don't, where do you live?
yeah, that's true.
Amazon?
I don't know. That's right. I don't know how to help you, but that's okay. Now, if you don't, you can still get the book. It's just going to be a little bit more expensive than $3.99.
We don't even know what that is because I don't know what life without Amazon.
Amazon,
Prime
that's
is.
true.
I have no idea what things cost.
Linda runs a fulfillment center out of her house, in case you're wondering. So here's the thing though, this is our gift to you guys. We wrote this book to improve the lives of those who are at KW, to help our offices be able to share this out. And so our goal is to get this book into as many hands as possible. So here's the deal. If you scan the QR code that's on the screen right now, it's going to take you to a website. On there, what Linda and I have done is we actually wrote a bonus chapter of the book. It's not in the book, it's outside the book. But if you go to the QR code, it's going to ask for your name, for your email. And as soon as you put that in, we will send you the bonus chapter and we will route you to the Amazon page of where to sign up. So
And we do have a goal.
that is true. So
We
let's talk
have a
about that.
goal to be #1 best-selling book on Amazon. How would that be if a #1 best-selling book on Amazon was a book about
Profit
Keller Williams
share.
profit share?
Yes. So here's our ask. Because Linda and I are not making any profit from the book, we are doing it at cost. Our ask is, would you consider buying a few copies and handing them out to people you care about?
And David already bought 10.
I love that.
David
Awesome,
must be a
guys.
quick
Thank you,
start.
thank you, thank you. Would you please buy extra copies, hand them out to people inside of the ecosystem that you want to bless, you want to share, you want to get them inspired. And when you get the book, we would love if you would take a picture with it, if you'd share it online. if you-
social.
You know, let's get the movement started with Profit Share and really help more of our ecosystem so we can go from 35% to 45 to 65 and get way more people involved in getting excited about building their wealth here at this
Yeah.
company.
Yeah. I mean, what was the number, Press, of new people that get in the industry every year even? The more people we can get reaching out to find, because 50,000 is what came to KW.
Yep.
I wonder how many other people went
To
someplace
other
else
companies.
because they had never even heard about Keller Williams. So if we can get everybody understanding and working to build their own profit share, we're going to get so many of the people that didn't even know about Keller
Yeah,
Williams to come
that's
into
right.
KW.
That's right. So
Yeah.
cool. And also, if you're a Keller Williams Market Center, our goal is for this to, just like you have a hold book, you have a MREA book on your, One Thing books. Our goal is, because we're making this as absolute cheap as possible, that you will have a stack of copies for you to give all new agents who are joining, any agent that you think would benefit, your ALC, things like that. So if you'd consider that, and so I want to make sure you understand, if you can scan the QR code, or if you go to profitsharebook.com, that's the link. So if you go there now, you've got the ability for you to go and get the bonus chapter and also get routed directly to where to get the book?
Well, this is a surprise to you that I'm about to do this.
Oh, great. I can't wait for this, whatever this is.
And Georgia just raised the bar. She ordered 200. So anybody who orders 100 or more, will do a call for your market centers or your growth committee.
All
or
right.
whoever you want. This is a surprise for president.
That is a surprise. I cannot wait to cast that check. Not to disrupt. No, for real. That would be,
Our honor.
we would love to do that.
Yeah. our honor.
Absolutely. Okay, Linda, anything else you want to wrap up with?
No, I mean, honestly, I am just, if you think your life has been changed by KW, then my question to you is, why do we decide that's enough lives changed? I know my life, God, it's been so changed by this company. And I'm so thankful that a recruiter reached out to me in honor of Althea because I was the #1 agent in my town. I am so forever grateful for that. And if you're grateful because somebody changed your life by introducing you to KW, man, let's don't stop. Let's go change a lot more lives by introducing them to this amazing company. It's not like we're trying to sell them something that's not fantastic.
Yeah, that's right. It's proven.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all, we are
Somebody's gonna see
so,
the link.
don't see the link. Yeah, it's just, if you go to Profit Share Book, what is it? Yeah, profitsharebook.com. It's also got the QR code on the screen that you can do that as well. So thank you all so much. We love you. We're so excited about this. Thank you for being a part of our book launch with us. Go get your copy of the book. Go get a few more. Share it out with people.
Put it on your socials. Let the world know that Keller Williams has something so amazing, and go take advantage
That's
of
right.
it. Go build
And-
wealth, change lives, and leave a legacy.
That's right. That's exactly what I was going to say. Go build wealth, change lives, leave a legacy. We love you guys. From our family to yours, let's go change lives. See ya.